Time for the show. Oh, fucking boy. Okay, so here we go with the death battle, Godzilla vs. Hulk debate. And honestly, Hulk should not have won that fight. Hulk really should not have won that fight at all. Here's the things that death battles purposely left out. You see, they decided to... They thought it was smart to fucking only... I don't know why they did this. They hyper fixated on fucking Godzilla Ultima as if that was his most powerful form. No, it was not. In fact, in the Marvel comic books universe, the Marvel Godzilla is the most powerful version of Godzilla. Hands down. I know people give a lot of about that, but it's the truth. In fact, about 2 months before, a month or two before they did the Godzilla vs. Hulk death battle, they released a comic book called Godzilla vs. Thor, which had GMK, which is a direct 20 years later after GMK, which is Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack, which is the movie. And it was based off that movie, and it's a direct sequel to that. And it's where Godzilla gets revived through a death, I think it's a death cult, but they revive Godzilla with the intent on killing every god, including Thor. And through that fight, Godzilla was trouncing Thor, and Thor had to use the power of, I think it was Jotunheim? Yeah, the Jotunheim frost to permafrost him. That didn't work because that was immediately negated when the fucking cult gave him the power of Gore the God Butcher. Hulk would not have survived that. Had they taken into account the actual events that were in those comic books that they mentioned, which they just glossed over it like it was nothing. Like, oh, hey, he was in hell. Oh, he fought Thor. Nothing important happened in those comic books. Are you fucking for real? In Godzilla vs. Thor, Godzilla was fighting Thor within the cosmos, and Godzilla was blowing up galaxies worth of planets, and Thor literally had to throw galaxy after galaxy after him in order to kill him. Which, by the way, it didn't work because guess what? Both of them died in that fucking impact. But even then, guess what happened? Godzilla challenged him in hell. Yeah, even in death, Godzilla would fight. And again, and in the IDW comic books, Godzilla in hell, Godzilla fights through a pantheon of different monsters, and God and the devil, and this weird Lovecraftian monster. When he gets eaten, his regenerative effect is a regeneration works in hell, and his body was able to come back together, and his whole body literally erupted with an atomic blast that was capable of annihilating that fucking Lovecraftian monster. Which, by the way, they left out. They didn't use any of those abilities at all. In fact, his regeneration is so retarded that it can... Okay, I gotta calm down. But no. Godzilla's regeneration effect and his most powerful feats trounce Hulk in every counter effect. The very fact that they left out those abilities pissed me off. Godzilla became Godzilla the God Butcher. He absorbed Gore's all-black sword, or the shard of the all-black, and became Godzilla the God Butcher. And his Necroblast was so powerful, it's able to wipe out the entirety of galaxies. Literally, Thor had to block it off with Mjolnir in order to stop it from killing him. And even at the end, Godzilla killed Thor. Well, both of them killed each other. And in the end, Godzilla fought Thor in hell. Hulk has no feats that could beat him. And not to mention the fact that I like the fact they kept bringing up the Green Door. Godzilla came back to life in the Godzilla in Hell book that they mentioned but glossed over. Yeah, and during the end of that whole Lovecraftian fight when he refused back together and blew up that tower, he literally walked up it and there's a gate very similar to that of Hulk's. He can literally just kill a bunch of monsters and walk through that fucking gate again. Why didn't they bring this up? He can literally come back to life. And they just hyper-fixated on just Godzilla, on just that singular point Godzilla. Godzilla Ultima. Like, that was his most powerful fucking form. Which it wasn't, by the way. In fact, there are two other monsters that are, if not more powerful than he is. Godzilla Earth, for example. Godzilla Earth, it has the capability of defying creatures that defy reality. For example, King Ghidorah. Why this specific King Ghidorah, you may ask? This creature's literal characteristics is that it defies reality. Its very existence defies reality. It absorbs suns, it literally devours planets. This creature literally just fucking, and Godzilla was able to not only survive it, but was able to hit it so hard that it was able to discorporate its physical form. And yes, and this King Ghidorah was able to bend reality to its will. And Godzilla survived it and destroyed it. I am tired of DeathBattle constantly leaving shit out and lying. It's over. DeathBattle, you're over. It's done. And I'm actually glad that most of the fans agree on this. Because if you notice on their actual DeathBattle channel, you'll notice that the Buffy versus Blade video is getting, their viewership is getting worse and worse and worse. It's because they're constantly fucking making shit up. And when they do, they pander to the lowest of the low and to the people that don't understand these comic books. Godzilla himself. In fact, there's several iterations of Godzilla that completely left out. Did you know that there was an anime version of Godzilla called Snow Godzilla? Whose atomic breath is so powerful, it can literally send your physical body to a different point in time in a different universe. This specific version of Godzilla, he was able to attack, it was in this anime called Shinkelion, where this version was able to not only hit you with the beam, but was able to also displace your mech and or you and turn you into your younger self or replace you with a different version of you from the past or the present or future. Literally, all Godzilla would have had to have done was just blast him with that breath, or I know they keep thinking, oh, fucking Ultima's the best one, and he has all the, if so, and if they would have used that logic during the end of that, wouldn't you have just transformed Godzilla into a different version of Godzilla? Like the Marvel Godzilla, which, by the way, in the Marvel comic books, Godzilla was able to absorb other people's energy, including Hulk's. Godzilla picked up Hulk and tried to eat him and gained his fucking rage. He literally gained his abilities. It's literally there. In the Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, Godzilla literally picks Hulk up, or I think he eats him, and then he fucking gains Hulk's abilities. So if Godzilla really wanted to, and if they used every characteristic of Godzilla, they would have introduced that fact that all Godzilla really would have done was just eat him, absorb his powers and all of his abilities, and just kill him. Do the exact same thing. The green door, all that shit. Godzilla has been known in every series, most of every series, to absorb the opponent or some creature's energy and to divert it and reflect it and do. For example, in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Godzilla, when he was down, absorbed Rodan's essence and gained the red spiral heat ray. And then when he absorbed all the energy from the blast in Godzilla vs. Destroya, he absorbed all that energy and was able to create a supercharged version of that red spiral heat ray. His most dangerous feats were him in Marvel comic books and him in Godzilla in Hell. And yet, and they fucking keep leaving that shit out like he's just some fucking low tier monster. It's done. You're done, Marvel. Or you're done, DeathBattle. It's done. Stop with this shit. It is atrocious. It is misleading. And you need to be stopped. Fire Force Mark, I hope you also watch this, by the way, because this shit, they need to be stopped. Godzilla versus Godzilla. And I know they brought up, oh, it wasn't matter because Bruce Banner was the one that. Do you think in every Godzilla universe, do you think that's the greatest scientists haven't thought of that ability to try to kill him? In fact, several times they've tried to kill him, only a few times they've succeeded. Only a few. I think like 3 or 4. 3 or 4 at best. Canonized. And those were very, very low odds of them succeeding. Apart from the Oxygen Destroyer in 1954. But even then, I think the one thing that pissed me off about that fight in the Godzilla Ultima was the fact that they brought up the diagonal orthagonalizer. The only reason why that thing worked in the first place is because Pelops, which is the AI that was programmed into Jaguar, he had to stretch into the vastness of space. He had to quantify and calculate every possible outcome from space-time. He literally had to transfer a melody from past, present, and future in order to calculate and activate, in order to keep the diagonal orthagonalizer active and keep Godzilla away from the diagonal orthagonalizer. And they fucking kept acting like it was. Oh god, okay. Not just that, but Godzilla and especially in the comic books, like I said, he's able to absorb energy from every other creature. He's able to not just that, he also has several different forms that they didn't even gloss over, or they completely glossed over them, but never even fucking used them at all. His powers are so fucking ridiculous. The fact he was able to survive not only an interdimensional kaiju that bends reality to its own will, he was able to survive a cosmic level Thor and then kill him, but also die in the same instance. Hulk is nowhere near as strong as Thor or as strong as Godzilla. Godzilla's powers alone, or if they were to have used that whole logic with the fucking Ultima entity, in that case, they could have just swapped different forms of Godzilla to fucking counterattack everything Hulk was doing. Banner. And if they were to have killed him, guess what would have happened? He would just come back to life. Godzilla in Hell literally shows him fucking battling his way through hell, even killing a Satan supercharged version of Space Godzilla, which caused a huge explosion. Like, oh god, okay. It just makes no goddamn sense why they would keep doing this shit. It's honestly just for clicks at this point. They keep doing this shit because they think that they can get away with it. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. It's disgusting. You barely get any information right. And when you do, you fucking just sweep it under the rug like it's nothing important. My fucking god. This is precisely why I've unsubscribed from them, and I'm not trying to like force gap anybody to like, oh, unsubscribe from them. No. You can have your own opinions, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to state the facts that they were wrong in that death battle. They were both wrong in the Buffy versus Blade death battle, and they're wrong in the Godzilla versus Hulk death battle. If they would have put every version of Hulk or every version of Godzilla against Hulk or against every version of Hulk that they've used in that fight, including Bruce Banner, Godzilla still would have won. His powers, like I said, if they added the all black, which he used in the comic books, by the way, his Necroblast alone could annihilate literal planets. Literal planets. So all he would have literally had to do was just blast literally a galaxy full of planets away, and just wait for him to choke on his own self. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. And like I said, Godzilla himself is just so overpowered. In each iteration he is in, sure, there are weaker variants of him. Yeah, sure. Guess what? So is the Hulk. As a matter of fact, if you were to take even the weakest version of Godzilla and the weakest version of the Hulk and put them together, it'd be an even fight. However, if you put every version of the Hulk and Godzilla together, Godzilla wins that fight every fucking time. Down to his anime counterparts, down to his manga counterparts, down to his comic book counterparts. You cannot keep getting away with this death battle. You cannot. It is fucking disgusting. And to top it off, they're doing another Dante versus whoever the fuck. I am like, who's? And they just also lost about 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, because people are catching on to your bullshit, Death Battle. We're done. They're done with you. Be gone, foul spirit. So, in the great words of Monty Python and the Holy Grail, God bless this holy hand grenade, so that they blowest thine enemies to tiny pieces in thine mercy. Amen.